All right, what's going on, everyone? So today we have a pretty exciting video. We're gonna chat about a loan opportunity where you could potentially get a house for half the amount that you would get it normally. It takes some time to kind of wrap your head around the concept. It's a HECM loan. We're gonna talk to an expert, explain how it works, and then we're also gonna talk to one of our expert agents, and she used the loan to purchase her home. She'll have some insight on it in terms of actually going through the process and getting that loan. Do I explain the loan at all?
No, right?
Just let it go in, huh? So today we're talking with Chris Bruiser. We got an exciting opportunity. I'm gonna let you get into it and explain it.
So I'm Chris Bruiser with Mutual of Omaha, and excited to be here in Claremont, hanging out here at Explore 55 Plus. And my name is Chris Bruiser. As Jay Michael said, I'm with Mutual of Omaha, and we're here to talk about a unique and little known strategy for baby boomers to purchase their retirement dream home. In this market where being competitive is so important, being able to maximize and leverage every dollar is vitally important, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Especially for real estate agents and buyers. But this program is an option that's been around actually since 2009. The program is completely regulated by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and it's also insured by FHA. So this program is called the HECM for Purchase. HECM is an acronym which stands for Home Equity Conversion Mortgage. This version of the program came out in 2009. There's another version that came out back in 1988, and that's really for people who don't want to buy a new home. That's for people who want to stay in their existing home.
Yeah.
So just know that there's two versions of the HECM.
I think there's a lot of misconceptions from that old version that people get mixed in with the new version. Is that correct?
It happens all the time. Yeah, it happens all the time. And we like to just simply educate people about the difference between the HECM for people who want to stay in their existing home versus the HECM for purchase, which is for people looking to sell their existing home and buy a new one.
So what do you think? Let's kind of get an overview of the program, really dive into what opportunities it allows people.
Sure.
And then maybe we can talk about some case studies where you've had clients that have gone through it and are super happy about it. And then maybe dive into some numbers after that as well.
Absolutely. There's a lot to cover, so I'll try to be as concise as possible. Just know we're going to give everybody an opportunity if they want to learn more with the HECM for Purchase Home Buyer's Guide. So this is basically a 27-page magazine that has all the details. I'll kind of cover some of the high-level points.
Okay. Can we mail these out?
Oh, absolutely. And this is also available in digital form and hard copy. So this really has all the soup and nuts that you need to know.
Okay.
Yeah, this is great.
So at the end, we'll discuss how to get one of these.
Sounds good. So how I like to describe this program is I like to describe it by comparing it to the only other two options that exist. And it's safe to say that in retirement, given a choice, most people do not want to make monthly mortgage payments.
Right.
For obvious reasons, right? You're on a fixed income, you want to enjoy your golden years, so to speak. So if people can afford it, most people 62 and over would tend to pay 100% cash for their retirement home. And they do that because they don't want to make a monthly mortgage payment. But tying up that much cash at this stage of life is getting a lot harder for a lot more people. Yeah. Especially to be able to lay out enough cash to buy the home that you really, really want to buy, right? And so paying cash is an option, but paying cash may not be so great if it takes up all of your savings or if you can't buy the home you really want to buy.
Right.
So paying cash is an option, right? If you don't have enough cash to pay 100% cash, then the only other way to buy a home is you got to take out a conventional mortgage. And then you're staring at usually 15, most likely 30 years of making a monthly mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Well, now people 62 and over basically have a third choice, and here's how the program works. It's an age-based program, so you got to be at least 62. And there's a formula based on age and life expectancy principles. Based on a homeowner being 62 or 72 or 82, they're going to put down roughly 50 to 60% of the purchase price of that home. But not 100%. Based on their ability to do that, they can qualify for the home equity conversion mortgage for the rest of the purchase of that home. And this mortgage never requires monthly mortgage payments.
Right.
But they're optional. By the way, Jay, Michael, we didn't talk. You can actually make payments if you want to on a HECM.
Okay.
Because the interest is accruing, and so some people might be in a position where they might want to make payments for some reason, and you certainly can make payments at any time. if you want to.
What would be like a scenario where someone would want to make payments? Why would you do that?
Well, sure. So a lot of people are still working, right, in their 60s and even in their 70s, and so they're in their income-producing years, and so they might get a tax deduction potentially, maybe, for making a payment. If you don't make payments, you can't take a deduction, right? But if you make strategic payments, if you're working with a financial advisor or your accountant, strategically it might make sense to make payments.
Right.
Then when you retire and stop making money, then you could stop making payments. So there's all kinds of interesting ways to modify it based on the individual situation.
Okay. I kind of mentioned this in the intro, but we'll talk to Diana as well, who is one of our agents that went through this program, and she's super happy about it. She uses the extra cash to travel. It's like her travel budget.
Yeah, we've got so many testimonials. I mean, the customer satisfaction rates from people that actually have done the HECM is 95 to 100%. It's really in that upper echelon.
This was my first reaction, right?
Give it to me.
When I was introduced, it was just like, this almost seems too good to be true.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
It is.
We hear it every day.
Yeah.
By the way,
feel that way.
It does. I literally hear that every day, and that's okay. I have two anecdotal comebacks for that.
Okay.
First of all, it's all true.
Yeah.
That's very gratifying and very comforting to know that it's 100% true.
Yeah.
There is no catch, and it's not a free lunch. You heard me mention that it's insured by FHA, right? Well, insurance is not free, right? And so what I call the secret sauce, what really makes the HECM program possible, the formula for the down payment is an actuarial formula, right? It's not some arbitrary number based on credit score and income. Although those things are important for our loan, it's not as important as it is on a conventional mortgage where you're making monthly mortgage payments.
Right.
But we do pull credit and we do check income, because even though they're not making a monthly mortgage payment, because they own the property, they are responsible for the property taxes, the homeowner's insurance, and HOA fees if they're applicable. So we do document their income to make sure they can maintain all their obligations.
Right.
Which is responsible lending.
Yeah. I guess my other questions when I was kind of doing research too were, so the interest rate can be fixed or variable.
Yes, sir.
And then that interest accumulates on the
HECM.
The HECM,
right?
On basically the
mortgage balance.
The balance.
Right. So using simple math, if you're putting 50% down, that means you've got a mortgage for 50% of the other half, and so interest is accruing on that 50%. And we provide an amortization schedule. People get a monthly statement. So each month, a customer can see exactly how much interest accumulated from the previous month. It is very predictable because, again, it's an actuarial formula based on age and life expectancy principles.
One, I mean, in terms of a conventional loan too, you're paying all of that interest up front anyways. It's like you're not even going to really start to make a dent in your equity for how long anyways. So basically letting that accumulate on the end of it is essentially what happens anyways.
Well, if you think about it, if you actually do ever pay off a 30-year mortgage, a lot of people don't realize this. You're paying anywhere from double to triple of the price of the home.
Easy.
And I ask people, do you think that's a good deal? It's not a good deal, but that's how mortgages work, right? But really the key is in retirement, and again, I don't give financial advice any longer, but from what I know, liquidity, being liquid, having cash available, and having cash flow are the two most paramount things in retirement. And what the HECM does is it allows people to keep more cash liquid and keep more of their cash flow intact, because they're not required to make that monthly mortgage payment like you would with a conventional loan.
Right.
You got to make that payment. You're locked in for 30 years. There's no option to make a payment or not. At least with ours, you can make payments optionally.
So have you ever seen anyone go upside down in this?
Me personally, I've seen people that took out HECMs a long time ago, but that's where the FHA insurance, which I forgot to get back to, which we'll do right now. So on every HECM that's done, part of the closing cost is an initial mortgage insurance premium. And that is a one-time insurance premium that goes to FHA, and that is equal to 2% of whatever the property value is. So on a $300,000 home, FHA would get a $6,000 mortgage insurance premium.
Right, okay.
The FHA insurance does several things. It protects the homeowner while they're living in the home. So in 15 or 20 or 30 years, if home prices come down, you would have to live in the home for probably 10, 15, or 20 years before that loan would ever catch up with the declining property value. But here's the key. Because of the FHA insurance, if that happens while the homeowner is living in the home, it doesn't affect them. They can still live in the home for the rest of their lives and still not make a payment. And then when they pass on, one of the most common misconceptions, J. Michael, is a lot of people think that the bank gets the home. Not true. So when both homeowners have passed away, the home still goes to the heirs. A lot of people are surprised to hear that. The heirs still acquire the home once mom and dad pass. And then the heirs have a decision to make. If the home is underwater, the heirs literally have no liability for anything greater than the value of the property. So the heirs cannot be personally liable. Okay? So mom and dad were protected if they lived in the home. The heirs are protected because they can never owe anything, right? And the lender is also protected. So FHA would make the lender whole at the end, but it doesn't come from the heirs or the estate. That's the key. That's what I think takes away the it's too good to be true, because it's not a free lunch. There's an insurance premium that has to be paid, but that is what makes all these wonderful benefits possible, is the FHA insurance.
I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but it seems like if things continue to inflate too, it's like a no-brainer.
The smart people that take the time to investigate it, I hear many times, just had a guy last week say, Chris, I've looked at this every way and I cannot find a downside. What I say to everybody that says that is, that's right. I think if you're properly informed and you're properly educated and you understand the benefits and the cons, there really is no downside if you properly understand the program.
Who is this for?
Yeah.
And then who is this maybe not for?
Got it. So you got to be at least 62 or over, by the way. And so,
and how does that work? Sorry to interrupt you. How does that work if there's a couple? If one's over 62, are you still able to?
Great question, J. Michael. It looks like you've done a little homework. Sounds like. So in that situation, that's actually a situation that's been rectified in the last about 7 or 8 years. In 2014, 2015. HUD and FHA, they created what is called the non-borrowing spouse rule. So now, if there's a person who is, say, 65, but the wife or husband is 55, we still always use the age of the youngest homeowner, by the way. So they would have to use the age of the younger spouse, so their down payment would be slightly larger. Because when you're younger, you have more years to live, so you got to put more money down. The non-borrowing spouse rule now protects the younger spouse. So if the of-age spouse predeceases the non-borrowing spouse, the non-borrowing spouse can now stay in the home for the rest of their life and not make any payments back, as long as they meet all the loan obligations. And that's really helped a lot of people be able to qualify and give them peace of mind that both homeowners are protected in the event that one of them predeceases the other. All right, great questions.
So yeah, who does this make a ton of sense for, and then who would it maybe not make sense for?
Yeah, so the people that come to see me basically fit one of two categories. About 50% of the people have plenty of money to pay cash for the house, but when they realize they don't have to use all their cash, that they could use that money elsewhere, they find that enticing. The other 50% are pretty much like my parents. This program allows them to get into a home that they might not otherwise be able to afford with a limited cash budget. So I was thinking about your question earlier, and if somebody is using all their liquid cash just to come up with the down payment, I really could not justify a person doing it and not have money saved in the bank for liquidity purposes. So that's really one situation. The other situation where it might come into play, but there's ways to protect them, if you know that your children absolutely want to buy that home. Or I had a situation where the homeowners had a special needs daughter and they wanted to make sure that that daughter could stay in that particular house. But you can also protect them by making sure that they've got the money to pay the note off at the end. That can be done through life insurance. It can be done through like a special needs trust. So just know that I can't really think of too many, except if maybe they were not going to live in the home except for a very short period of time. If maybe they were only going to live in the home for a year or 2 or maybe 3, then it may not be suitable for somebody who's going to live in the home for that short of a period of time. Those are really the only other options I can really come up with for who it would not be suitable for.
And this is kind of cool. We talked about this earlier. If you do have a financial planner or advisor, you'd be more than happy to talk to him on the phone, discuss the opportunity. Reach out if you're interested. When I kind of started my little journey here, when we were going to have this conversation, started doing research, at first it was like skeptical, but now it's just like, just the more I've been learning about it, the more I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I was 62.
I hear that a lot. Everybody's got an opinion, but I like to take people from opinion to education.
Yeah.
And then once you're educated, then you can understand.
Yeah.
So opinion, education, understanding is usually how it flows.
Yeah. All right, how can people get a hold of you?
So I'm in Tampa, by the way, but I cover the whole state of Florida. I'm actually licensed in Virginia and Tennessee as well. But my phone number is 813-857-4565, or just reach out to you guys and connect the dots.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys want the digital version of this, just email us and ask for it at hello@explore55plus.com.
Thank you very much, J. Michael. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
That was awesome. Thank you.
So we talked to Chris, and he kind of explained the HECM loan. I thought it'd be cool to have Diana on. She's one of our experts, and she used the HECM to purchase her home in Trilogy, is a big fan of it, and obviously has that experience from going through it. So wanted to chat with you about it.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. The HECM loan, meaning Home Equity Mortgage Conversion Loan, it's a hard concept to understand, but once you get it, it's like, that's brilliant. And so I actually studied it for 3 years before I did it, because it looked too good to be true. And always, if something's too good to be true, it is. But in this case, it worked for me. It's not a loan that may work for everyone. The reasons that it worked for me is that it allowed me to take the equity that I had in my previous home, put it on this new home. I had more buying power to purchase a home than I normally would have if I was just getting a conventional loan. Since I don't have a house payment, it allows me to invest what I would have made in a house payment or travel on it. So I'm doing both. So it works for me.
Yeah.
So what happens is, when you take a conventional loan, you're paying on it monthly, monthly, monthly. So typically you don't pay much on your loan for years, right? So it comes down just a little bit. Let's just take the scenario of your mortgage payment's $1,000 a month. In 1 year, you would have spent $12,000. In 5 years, you would have had, what, $60,000 applied to that loan. Out of that $60,000, you need to look at the amortization schedule and see how much your loan decreased. For me, in 5 years, I put $60,000 in my pocket, right, invested it, but my loan value does increase every month, but it doesn't increase as much as what I'm making on my investments.
Right.
That's what was my aha moment, when my lender showed me what my amortization schedule is and how much it decreased with a conventional loan as opposed to how much money I would have to spend. That's when I decided to do it.
Yeah. And so was there anything complicated about it or surprising when you went through it? Anything like, I didn't see this coming, like anything at all like that? I mean,
my lender was very thorough and explained everything to me. And you also have to take educational class on it too before you get the loan, so that you understand what you're doing. So there are some disadvantages to it, so you definitely need to look at that. First of all, the closing costs are high. They're really high. So even when I looked at that and rolled that into my loan, what I was going to have to put down, it still was of value to me to do that.
and sorry to interrupt you, is that because of the insurance?
It is because of the insurance.
Okay.
And it's because the amount that you have to put down is based on your age.
Right.
So you have to be at least 62 to apply for the HECM loan. So I'm on the kind of the high side of 60s, as opposed to someone that might be 70, 75, they're gonna have to put down less. So because I was so young for this loan, I had to put down more, because the bank is ensuring that there's two things that can happen. So as the loan increases, the value of your home should increase equal to or more than what your loan is increasing.
The interest
Right?
on it, yeah.
Correct. So what that leaves is your heirs to determine what to do with it. And they have 6 months with a 6 month extension to do that.
Okay.
So my heirs, they're all doing really well, and we all agreed that that would be fine. So what that means to them is that I won't be leaving them as much as what I would have in a conventional loan. But what it means to me is I enjoyed a lifestyle that I couldn't have had without that loan.
Right. You know, if you are, like, let's say, taking a portion of that money, investing it, and it's outgrowing the interest that's accumulating on the back of the loan anyways, and then on a conventional loan, right, since you're paying it off, like if you took that 5-year example where you paid $60,000, I don't know what it would be, but I know like on my personal house, it's like, I've had it for a couple years, I haven't paid like anything towards the principal of the loan because it's all just upfront interest. Before we did the video, I started kind of doing some research and I had that same initial reaction, like, something seems weird.
Well, when you hear that your loan is increasing every month instead of decreasing, but then when you have to, if you can, take that money that you would apply to a mortgage and apply it to a good investment, contact a financial planner, make sure that they invest it. Or if you have other plans, you can buy a second home, you can travel, you can do with whatever.
Yeah, it has to be your primary home.
Your primary residence.
So you can use,
correct.
Yeah.
Yes, but because it doesn't ever show up as a loan anywhere, that still gives you the buying power to go buy another home.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the other downsides to this is, let's just say the market tanks, like it did in 2007, 2008. You purchased a $300,000 home. The market tanks, it's only worth $225,000. My heirs can then just say they don't want it, they can take it back. However, at the end, if I owe $350,000 and that home now is worth $400,000, they can say, yes, we'll sell it, and they still have a profit. It's just not as much as what it would have been.
If you were just continuing to make payments.
Correct. But for my family, I have 3 children, and they're all happy that I'm now enjoying a different lifestyle because of that loan. They're like, we want you to spend your money and enjoy it rather than being house poor and keep making a payment.
Make payments towards houses,
and like I said, I chose a home that I typically could not have bought with a conventional loan.
Definitely reach out to Chris if you have questions. And the thing he said too is he would love to hop on the phone with everyone, including financial planners, if you have one. He's had a bunch of accountants come to him, and they're the ones that are like signing their parents up for it and stuff like that. So which is pretty reinforcing.
It is.
When we have a ton of people, that are selling their house somewhere else, and then that really establishes the price that they can purchase another home, whatever they're selling their previous home for. So basically, you can sell your home for whatever it is, keep half of it, and only have to put half towards another house, rather than tying up every single dollar.
Correct.
Which is
and once
nice.
you put your money down, you're free of mortgage payments.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, it does increase every month. But for me, it worked for me. My heirs were not concerned about it. It gave me more buying power to purchase a home than you thought you could have, and it gives me the freedom that I have cash. So I don't have to worry about making a house payment and then it gives me a different lifestyle too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it worked in my case. It doesn't work for everyone, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I did it. My kids are happy that I did it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep in mind, you have to take that educational class, get a good financial planner, work with your realtor to help understand, what this is all about.
If it's something that you guys think you're interested in, we have resources. You can obviously reach out to us, reach out to Chris. It's just something to think through if you think it might be right. So.
Great. Good.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. You're more than welcome. All right. Bye.
Oh, hey, wait. Also, if you guys are trying to get connected with a real estate specialist in 55 plus communities, visit explore55plus.com.
Exactly. There's some good ones on there.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
All right.
All right. See ya.